Good morning, boys and girls. It's an exciting day in second grade today with our first hatching, but it's time for us to set up our brooder box so that we can get our little chick out of the incubator. He's crawling around in there, kind of bumping into a few of the other eggs. So we need to get him out, and so we need to set up our brooder box. So a brooder box is what the chicks will stay in until they get a little bit bigger, all right? So I will tell you, I have washed all of my supplies already this time because my girls gave me a hard time that my first video on the preparing the incubator, I spent the whole time washing. So they said, of course, Mother, you would spend the whole time on your first video washing. So everything is washed and ready to go. So this is what we are going to put our chicks in. And we have a light, which is a heat lamp, because they need to be kept warm and they will huddle together under this heat lamp, boys and girls. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, it has like these little things to clamp it to the edge, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug it in. All right. So the next thing we're going to do, boys and girls, is we need to put some shavings in the bottom of our brooder box, because one thing you would learn if you were in the classroom with me, boys and girls, is that all animals go poopy doopy. All right, so first thing we have to do is, so these shavings will kind of, first of all, make it not smell quite as bad in our classroom, but also it kind of soaks up some of the waste, we'll call it waste, boys and girls, that the chicks will have once they start eating anyway. All animals, once they start to eat, they go to the bathroom. And that is something that you are really going to miss in here, boys and girls, because I usually have the rule when we get the chicks out on the ground, I usually have the rule that whoever sees the poopy doopy first has to clean it up. So you know what that means? That means that I am going to be the cleaner upper. Darn. All right, so I'm opening up the shavings, and I'm going to dump some of it in here. A lot of animals on farms, they use shavings to kind of collect the waste of the animals. And then we will also, it's kind of like bedding material for the animals. And then as it gets full of, pee and poopy doopy, we'll have to clean it out and put fresh on top. All right, so I have that part done. And the next thing we need to do, boys and girls, is this is the chick waterer. And I have filled it up with water, this little jug with water, and I'll put this on it like here. I've cleaned it out good. And then I'm gonna quickly turn it, turn it upside down, and the water will go in the red thing like that. See, it has a little hole there, so it's gonna let the water in there. Now, one little problem here, boys and girls, is yes, it's going to get wood shavings in. And so we have to constantly clean it out. That's something that you would be doing, boys and girls, if you were in the classroom with me. Another thing you would be doing, boys and girls, is you would have had to go outside and collected rocks for me. Instead, I had to go outside in my chicken suit and collect the rocks myself. So anyway, this is really important because, like I told you before, it is up to us, remember, as the mother hens, to take good care of our chicks. Hence the hen soup, boys and girls. And we do not want our chicks to drown in the water. And right away they really could because they're very weak. And so we're going to place these rocks that I just found outside. I did wash them. And we're going to place them in there so they can stand on them. And so that they won't drown when they're still really little. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we have to get them food. And we are going to spend the next few days teaching them, just like the mama hen would, how to eat and how to drink. They don't know that just automatically by themselves. And so we are going to be sticking their heads in the water and sticking their heads in the food so that they will eat and learn how to drink. Pretty soon they'll be flying off of this little thing. So we open it up. I've cleaned it out. I'm gonna set it in here. And we have special kind of food for chicks that is a starter food for little chickens called a crumble, high protein crumble. Remember that up until this time, when they've hatched, they have used that yolk as their food. And that yolk, the good thing about that yolk is that, oopsie, the chicks ingested the rest of that yolk before they started hatching. And that's really important because that will provide it with nutrition for the first few days until we get, so we have them trained how to eat. Notice it kind of looks like dog food that's been all crumbled up. Hence the term chicken crumbles. All right, that's probably enough for now, and then we'll close it up. I usually sometimes kind of set it on its side and push it forward a little bit like that. Basically, I'm dumping it all out. Nope, that looks good. All right, and I think then, boys and girls, that we have our brooder box all set up, and I think we are ready to get our new little guy. We want that kind of going down there, out, and he is going to huddle underneath the heat lamp. So I'm gonna grab him, being really careful not to leave the top off for very long. I'd like you to meet our first little chick. I think he looks like a Fred. Don't you think he looks like a Fred? Now, boys and girls, I want you to look. Oh, he is just shaking. Hi, Fred, it's all right. You'll be fine. I'd like you to look at his beak because you'll see at the end of his beak, he has that egg tooth that helped him to get out of the shell. And he will lose that within the first couple of days. He'll lose that. It has a nice little point on the end of it, and that is what he was using to break open the egg as he moved around in there. Oh, Fred, you'll be fine. Yes, you'll have friends soon. So I'm going to set Fred right here underneath the lamp. And, oh, I know, you're so sweet, Fred. And we're just going to leave him there for a little bit. He will spend most of the time today sleeping and resting. And hopefully when you see him again, he will have fluffed up a little bit as he dries. Oh, it looks like he's gone poopy-doopy, boys and girls. It doesn't take very long for that to happen. All right, boys and girls, that's how you set up a brooder box. I hope that you have an exciting day too.